This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we have all the parts to the Turtles of Grayskull Metal-Boto figure sitting before us in a junk pile. It's taken a very long time for all these parts to come out, and it's finally happened. We have them all. And now we can finally put together this mechanical menace that helps out the Ninja Turtles and He-Man. Just a quick reminder that the inside of him does in fact have Roboto's moving gears. So we'll start with the torso. Take his legs, stick them in place. Honestly, this guy's kind of looking a bit beefy to me. Got his right foot. And his left foot. Left arm. Right arm. You know, he really is kind of looking a bit bigger than the average figure. His heavy-duty shell with what looks like a bunch of part placement areas here. And his head to get us our initial variation on him. Like with Roboto, if you spin, well, let's take the cover off too. If you spin his legs around, he flaps his jaw part and his gears move. This is one of those things that's kind of tough to decide how you want to display him with or without the chest piece off. Because with the chest piece on, at least the feet kind of match. But with it off, they kind of look out of place. Comparison size-wise, though, real quick, we have Tila, who is definitely shorter than Metal-Boto. And we have Man-at-Arms, who is also shorter than Metal-Boto. So it looks like Metal-Boto is more of the deluxe-sized figure, which I guess I'm kind of glad they gave us the parts in other deluxe ones instead of selling them by himself to a certain extent, because that would have cost an extra 30 bucks probably or whatever. But articulation-wise, you can move his head, and moving it does actually seem to affect how well the little flappy thing works. As you can hear that. So, again, and it's just on a spin joint. There's no ball joint there. I wonder if we turn it all the way backwards. Nope, it does kind of appear that the only way you get the flapping mouth to actually work is if you have the head forward. That's kind of interesting to note. Arms hinge up all the way, down, and we can spin around, and he hits himself in the side of the face. We have a single joint at the wrist, at the elbow here, and it barely moves. I think that's only maybe 30 degrees at best. His robot turtle hand does have a 360 spin and a hinge in and out. The regular hand does not have any kind of hinge at all. Obviously, we saw the waist spinning while we were playing with the head. So we'll go with the legs here now. Legs, less of a kick up than our normal Turtles of Grayskull figures, origin style. And barely kick back at, actually they don't kick back at all. He does have a butt crack though. Surprisingly. As far as outward, if you're really careful, you can get a good out kick going, but it does want to get stuck halfway over. So you're going to want to be really cautious when you're moving those legs that way. We do have a hinge at the knee per normal. We can spin it a bit, although with the design of the legs, it's not as easy. The boot cut also spins. And we have a hinge at the ankle and a spin as well. Of course, now we can swap out parts here. The thing with this is, to do the part swap out, you have to first put this in there, a coupler, I guess is what we would call it. So we stick the coupler in because it has the bigger opening for the other weapons. So like the Roboto weapons fit in his arm just well. So you got the axe, the dual blaster, and the claw. However, don't forget we have the Metal-Boto drill. Drill, baby, drill. The hand, which, now that I think about it, probably should put the other coupler in place. Oh, that was stupid. So he's got a extended, really extended hand there, actually, and that looks kind of dumb. I'm not gonna lie. I think that is very stupid looking. I don't know why they gave us this hand. If they're gonna give us an extra hand like this, they should have just made it a hand, you know, with the standard peg for it, you know? But wait, that's not all. We have all these other weird little spots where you can start plugging stuff into. The only problem being, of course, whoa, let's remove the couplers here. Because while you can basically stick every single accessory on this guy, especially on his back, like that, one, they don't stand very well, but that was to be expected, if we're being honest. There is nowhere on this figure to stick the couplers to store them. So that in itself is honestly a shame, in my opinion. It would have been nice if they had kind of maybe did some sort of a way to hook these into him as well, so all of his parts could be together. But I mean, I'm not going to complain too much about it because I think Mattel did an actual really good job designing this figure. It's just the one flaw with it is there's no place to store the couplers for the equipment. I mean, aside from sticking them in their hands, but then you don't have anywhere to put those hands. So you see the slight dilemma there. So overall, I think this is a great figure. I'm annoyed that it took us as long as it did to get all the parts. Was it worth the wait? I would say yes. Am I glad I didn't have to spend an extra $25 to $30 to get this figure? Yes, I am. And in fact, honestly, if Two Bop Steady and Splinter Skull go on sale, I'll get seconds of them, possibly to try to experiment to create my own Bebop and Rocksteady separate ones, like others have done. If Two Bop Steady and Splinter Skull go on clearance or on a decent sale, I'll probably get second ones because I already have a second one of our previous two releases to create them. Actually, when Trapjaw got down to $7, I bought I think I have 3 extras of that, or the Mouse Jaw one, just because I wanted the extra mousers. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the extra Mouse Jaw figures themselves though yet, to be honest. But I hope you enjoyed this review. Yeah, it was. I think it's worth the wait. I mean, the articulation's not as great as other figures, but this guy is a beefy boy, and we didn't have to pay extra for him. I just wish, you know, like I said, I wish there was a place on here to store the couplers or the other hands, you know. That would have made this almost perfect. And it's sad, actually. It wouldn't have been that difficult for them, like on the wrists here, just to have a peg that you could have shoved this into, and it wouldn't have looked really out of place. So, yeah, it wouldn't even have been that hard for them to do. But I thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please feel free to subscribe, leave a like, and of course, as always, peace and love.